Welcome to Matrix Talk on this Friday, December the 1st, 2023. For those checking in sometime later. And today we're going to talk about how to view your life as a hero's journey, of course, with the ACT Matrix. I was sent an article recently, I guess because I sent out the announcement, or Phil sent out the announcement about this. And there's some research that shows that it's helpful. I don't know how helpful, what it does for people, but it's helpful to view your life as a hero's journey. Now, Phil and I aren't the first ones to talk about this.
No.
We're not trying to claim to be the first. However, we probably have one of the more simple ways of doing it. Yeah. So very straightforward, and you can do it quick, and so we'll show you. But first, we have to do some
housekeeping to take care of.
Housekeeping duties. So I'll let Phil do the housekeeping.
So your first, first thing you might want to do is go up there to the upper right, I think, in your screen, and click the follow button. You can follow us.
Yeah.
And that way, when we go live and stuff, you'll know, and you'll get notifications about what we're up to. So
Yes.
Now, then you can go down to the bottom right, I think, and in the bottom right, there's a chat. And over to the side somewhere is a chat function. So you just basically do just like I did. I chatted in, you see down at the bottom, hello from Langhorne, PA, which is where I live right now.
I'm putting it in right now.
Kevin's going to put his in. And if you come on, even if you come on and watch the replay, put in, hey, I'm so-and-so from such and such place.
Yep.
Because we like knowing where people are from. It's just kind of fun.
It is.
Then you don't want to miss that green button. And we make it nice and big so you can't miss it. And today...
It's right down there.
Right. Today we have a special offer that we want to share with you all. And I'm going to let Kevin talk about the offer because you're the one that set the CTA up.
I did. I put it together. That will take you directly to a checkout page, and it's more, you can read about it, but we've bundled together our ACT Matrix certification. And again, you do not have to be certified to use
not
the ACT
required to use the Matrix.
But there's some folks, 50 or 60 of them now, that wanted certification for any number of different reasons.
Yeah, we just met with a couple, two people this week that were interested in doing it.
As a matter of fact, and they passed. Actually.
Yeah, they did. They're both now going to be certified ACT Matrix facilitator.
And with that, we send them a certificate, and they'll eventually end up on the web page. And what we did was discounted the whole thing. And then, of course, the other thing that Phil and I have done for the past several months is we're now accredited to give American Psychological Association continuing ed credits. And so we bundle them together. I mean, and at a big savings.
Oh,
it's a good deal. It's not
very good deal, folks.
It's not even a marginally good deal. No. It's a really good deal, and we're not changing it. We're not going to try and say
we're going to keep it there. Yep.
No, we're keeping it. And so you do, if you sign up for the certification, we just throw in all of the 19 CEU credits, hours. So that means you have to take the classes and
pass. There's post-tests for each one of them.
Because that's what APA requires.
But they require.
I'm not trying to say it's any different, but those are all thrown in. I put in, it ends up, you save $374.95.
A lot of money.
Which is a substantial amount of money. And so click on the button and go check it out. If there's now in our platform, there's even a pay overtime thing.
Yes.
You know that? Kajabi added that.
You can pay overtime. Yes.
You could even pay
to do that.
I don't know how long it is, but
yeah.
Hey, greetings from Southeast Florida. Hello, David. Thank you. And so with that, anybody coming on, click. And Bill and I aren't millionaires or anything, but it's how we pay our bills.
It helps us stay afloat.
And Phil and I, we love doing this. So as long as we make a penny into the black, we're good. Okay.
Yes,
And
we're contented.
well, we're contented. So we're not but we do charge what we need to do to pay our bills,
Yep.
do some stuff. So and now with that, we're going to take a trip around the matrix,
Yes.
but we're going to think of it as a hero's journey or a hero's quest. It's in the literature, you'll see it referred to both ways. And if you're new to this and you say, well, what do they mean? Oh my goodness, so many novels and so many movies are based on what's called the story arc
Yes.
of the hero's quest. And some of them are quite ancient. We're talking
Oh yeah.
based it on the Argonauts and
The Iliad and the Odyssey,
the
all the way back.
way back. And of course, you remember the names of them because they're the hero. Right?
Yeah.
You know, and maybe you saw the Gladiator movie years ago.
Oh yes,
Ridley
Russell
Scott Gladiator.
or Spartacus.
And well, you say
Yeah.
you remember their name because they're the hero.
There you go.
They go
Timeless classics.
right, and they go through The Hobbit.
Yeah. Modern Star Wars. Okay.
Exactly. So all it goes on and on and on, and so these are, and we all know these journeys because we hear the stories sometimes as bedtime stories. You know, when we're
Yep. You
really,
read it
really
to your
young.
kids or have them read to you.
Right. And so it's familiar, but so as I said, some research shows it's good to view your own life as a hero's quest. And so now, there's lots of other people who have written about this. We just make it easy because we use the ACT matrix to do
Use
it
this
with.
little diagram right here.
Right. And so we start the quest in the lower right hand quadrant. And so in this case, the way we usually start the matrix is we say, you know, who's important to you? That's the way Phil and I started. Unless we're starting with a group of people and we want to start with the pro-social matrix. And at that point, we would say, well, what's our shared purpose? You say, well, why's that important? Well, if you think almost all of these heroes' quests have a band of people that come together, you know, think The Hobbit, think Star Wars. So you have Luke and you have Princess Leia and
Oh yeah.
all the characters come together. So you can start it that way. Either way you want to do it. But if you're the hero, of course, well, you're the hero. So
Right.
you go lower right. That's me.
Me as hero.
Me as hero goes in the lower right. And if you want to do it with several people, well, we as heroes go in the lower right.
Yeah.
You know? And
Your council of heroes.
right. So hey, we're trying to be
Your
heroes.
fellowship, right? The fellowship.
Yeah, the Fellowship of the Ring. There we go. That's a hot one. So, anyways, yeah. So you just think of it that way. So, well, any of these stories would be awfully boring stories if the hero didn't have to, what do they call it? Vanquish,
Yes.
overcome stuff.
Counter.
Oh, lots of stuff. And that includes internal stuff, which is, you know, and all of the movies portray it. Luke and his internal battles with his father figure stuff and all of that. And they just all refer to them as what Phil and I call yucky stuff in the lower left. Okay? So this is the stuff that shows up. And in one way or another, it mucks around with the journey. Okay? It hinders the journey. You know, for the usual person, let's just call it self-doubt. Okay. So let's bring it down to a real world example. I'm the hero. I'm going to go to college. Just about a half millisecond later, self-doubt shows up. You know?
Whoa.
Whoa. What
What's going on here?
am I thinking of doing here? Right.
Really?
So that's what I mean. That kind of real world stuff where,
Unanticipated stuff is happening.
right, you think of something grand, hero-like that you're going to do with your life, and very quickly fear shows up.
Bingo.
Fear of the unknown. That we'll call it self-doubt. We'll call it trepidation. We'll call it all kinds of things.
Yep.
Basically that. So that shows up in the lower left, but now it's in the context of this quest, this journey. You're the hero and you're on a journey. So there you go. So, well, how do you deal with that internal stuff? So that's not going anywhere.
Yep.
And then the movies portray that too, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Can't get rid of this stuff.
No, it's coming along, but at the same time, let's say so our hero might do some self-talk.
Oh yeah.
I've done that myself.
Oh yeah. In the movies, they talk into the camera, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing.
Or like in the more modern Star Wars, they'll do the thoughts,
Yeah.
thinking to themselves. So if you're thinking to yourself, it goes in the lower left because that's an inside thing. If you're actually talking out loud to yourself, well, then it's an upper left thing. And you're saying stuff like, I can do this. There is no reason to be afraid. Many other people have done this, all that kind of stuff.
I can.
The I can, the Nike, you can do it. Just
I can.
Right, and all of this stuff. So, as I said, and people will ask us, well, in the Matrix, when you say that stuff to yourself inside, you think it to yourself, where does it go? Well, Phil and I long ago learned to cheat. We just put it down.
You put it right there. See, there it is.
Down in the lower left. But if you're talking out loud to yourself, that's an observable behavior.
You can put it up.
Observable behaviors go in the upper part of the matrix. So when you say to yourself, I can do it, well, out loud, then there you are, it's said out loud. Now, of course, there's many other ways to deal with fear and anxiety and trepidation and this and that that go in the upper left. So I don't know, what might they do in the upper left?
Well, they could end the quest. I mean, that would be something that might happen.
Oh yeah, does everybody just go home
and stop the quest?
Go back to the Shire, huh?
Yeah. I'm taking my toys and I'm going home.
And
that wouldn't be much of a story.
No, they don't write those stories.
Right. The story would end right there. That'd be it.
Now, they definitely might have dialogue about them wanting to stop the quest.
Yes.
Urge
to stop, right?
Because that's a human condition, and they're going to put that into the book or into the movie so that you can relate to it.
Yep.
Because if nobody has any self-doubts, well, that's not very relatable.
Well, you could hear them saying out loud, I don't think I can do this.
Yeah, right, exactly. So all that kind of stuff. So you deal with it. So now, if you aren't going to just quit, well, then they say, well, we need to come up with a plan. Well, a plan, it may sound like it's upper right stuff. A plan is also a way of, getting past the fear.
Down here.
Because if you have a better plan and you know what you're going to do, that can handle a lot of the fear. So planning could be over in the upper left, or it can be in the upper right.
Formulate a plan.
So that kind of stuff. Oh, in the Tom Sawyer book, I always remember they sat in a cave and sharpened their swords.
That's right.
Which were wooden. They were wooden swords. So there you go. That's all part of it too. You sharpen your swords, or you might go do a few push-ups and work out some
Yeah.
shape.
Oh yeah. Oh, go train. Go
Go
train.
train.
Right? Like Luke had to go train.
I had to go
He's a
train.
Jedi Knight.
Right. And that's when he first meets Yoda.
Yoda. Yep.
Yoda. So that's training and that's preparation. And a lot of that can go in the upper left because you're
Yep.
assuaging your fears. You're getting past your
Hmm.
doubts. And so now you're saying, well, what that mean if you're going to college? Well, you're going to do stuff in the upper left, planning for going to college and putting the money back,
Saving some money.
doing this and that and other. And it's the intent that's important here, folks. And if the intent is to deal with your lack of confidence, it's in the upper. Now, if you're just planning and you're saying, I'm going to college and I'm going to put out a plan of how to do it, well, that could be in the upper right. And that's what almost all of these movies and books have some element of planning how to achieve the quest,
Yes.
of which, of course, no plan ever works out. That's the nature of all these stories. And if you've noticed, it's also the nature of life.
Yeah.
The old saying in the military, the first casualty of battle is the plan.
So planning can also go down here because it starts in the mind.
Yeah, it starts in the mind, right? But if you get your map out and start
Now we're doing planning
around, and Fred's going to go here and Sally's going to go there, and all that kind
Who's
of
going to do what?
who's going to do what, that can be in the upper right. But nevertheless, you're remembering it's a hero's quest.
Yeah.
I'm on a quest. And so on a practical matter for a lot of the people we were earlier on this week, we were talking to, well, they were in the business of working with people, severe drug addicts.
Yes.
Severe. We're talking like homeless heroin addicts kind of stuff. Well, they got a quest if they sort of decide to enter into it. And of course, the quest comes under the term sobriety, right? Get off all these drugs, or at least get the drugs down to a manageable level so I can live a life, right? So, but whatever way you do it, it's still a quest. It's a journey, and it's always a journey. Life's a journey, for that matter. So, really, what you're talking about in these terms is these shorter journeys that occur within the larger context of your life. From an ACT point of view, they're continually asking the question, well, is what I'm doing, is this journey, are these actions working to get me where I want to go? Yeah. And now you got it all set up, and now you can say, well, I can notice all of this stuff. I can notice myself, my quest. I can notice my yucky stuff. I can notice as I do actions to try and deal with the internal stuff, get past it. And I can notice in myself do stuff to actually achieve the quest, to achieve the journey. And that noticing in the middle is, well, that's the money shot. That's where you get it. Because by viewing it from a distance, now you're in a whole lot better position to make decisions of what to do next. You're looking at it from the bird's eye view, the treetop view, the 10,000-foot view. There's many different names for it.
Top of the mountain view.
Top of the mountain view, whatever. But you're looking down upon yourself, not in a bad way. You can see, oh, I could go here, or I could go there. I have options. You can see your options. And that's ACT, really. That's ACT. So eventually you might say, well, I got it. The fear is there, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to class.
Oh.
I remember I started off with college, and the end of the day, you make it in, you get into college, you pay your tuition, do whatever. Well, the number one best thing to do to succeed at college is, Bill knows this,
Show up. Go to class.
go to class. I know when both my daughters were in school, somewhere on a bulletin board would be in giant letters, "Go to class."
Yeah. Yeah. Plan for today. Go to class.
Because if you don't, the wheels start coming off the bus in a
Very
hurry. Right. But if any of you who have ever been to university, college, whatever you call it, know that there's lots of stuff that shows up and wants to get in the way of you going to class. Most of the time, it's not legitimate. It's
Right. Can we call them self-imposed obstacles sometimes?
yeah.
Be generous. Call them self-imposed obstacles.
Yeah, we'll call them that, whatever. So I'm just going to college one. But anyway, any of these. And now, of course, the neat thing about this, or one of the neat things about this, is that this is so simple. That is the ACT matrix, and looking at it this way, when you watch a movie like The Hobbit or
Yeah. Star
Return of the King,
Harry Potter, whatever. Right.
Harry Potter. Oh, Harry Potter is another one.
Yep. Yep.
All of these, you can now say, "Oh, I can see the journey. I can see the journey in this story arc." But now you can do your own story arc very easily. And the great thing about the Matrix, or one of the great things about it, is that not only is it easy to remember, it's darn near impossible to forget. It doesn't take much, and it's really stuck in your head, So you can always pop it up and think, oh. Now, this does not mean all of your quests are going to succeed.
No.
Nope. We're not offering any guarantees here. Nope.
No. That's the nature of a quest. That's why you're doing it. You really don't know. You're going on. It's a quest.
Sometimes even in the movies, they don't work out.
Oh man. Absolutely.
So yeah, they can not, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. You're going to, and of course, at the very least, whatever you do, whether you make it or not, you're going to, if by noticing, you really up the odds that you're going to learn from experience.
Yeah. You're going
to learn what works and what doesn't work so well. And so you can do that. So that's how you do it. We never mean to make anything complicated here.
Nope.
Because if it's complicated, well, we won't do it. And we've learned through experience that you won't do it either. None of us humans do. We forget complicated.
Yep.
They say, well, that's easy. Just get your manual out. Yeah, well, I lost mine.
Yeah. Down somewhere, I can't find it.
I can't find it.
Yeah, it's over there with the other manuals I put down before.
Right, and so in this, the matrix sticks in your head. You can see lower right, who and what's important, or if you're doing the Matrix 2, the pro-social, you say, well, what's our shared journey? Because I'm saying it that way because it's our quest, right? So what's our shared journey? By the way, with a group of people, that is a very important thing to do.
Oh, boy, is it ever.
As a matter of fact, the number one problem with any complex kind of task that more than one person takes on together is that they have trouble lining up on
this here,
the lower right, the shared purpose. What's the quest? That's just part of being human. We're not dissing on anybody. That's just the way it is. Great to have conversations about what are we up to? What are we trying to achieve? At least weekly, if not more. So do that. So now you've got it set up as a hero's quest. And
That's how it looks.
now, most of the time when people do the Matrix, they don't think of it as a hero's quest.
No.
But this is a special case of it, uh, of people doing it. So, and you can do it if you do it, or if you can show it to a individual or a bunch of people, and you can present it from this hero's quest story arc. You can do that, but it's up to you.
Oh yeah.
What you want to do, but I would say that to knock that off and say, well, you don't do that. Well, what do you do? Something that a lot of times people do if they have a group of people to present it to, like a class. And we heard this earlier today.
Yeah.
We have a mastermind that we do at 10 o'clock. So we heard it. And you did. So the person does the pro-social matrix first, which is easy to, what's our shared purpose? We've come together in this class. What's our shared purpose? Blah, blah, blah. We go around. And then we do, what shows up and gets in the way. You do the whole loop. And then you have the people show it to each other. So they pair up, and they show it to each other. And now you're doing the me matrix.
Yep.
Loop
Each
one.
of them is doing. You do your me. They do their me. You
And
practice.
they show it. So I'll ask you the questions first, and then you'll ask me the questions back and forth. And the person was noting how these first-time college students, maybe you can picture one showing up with their hoodie with the hood up, and they don't want to engage, and not too far into that process, like the hoodie comes off, and they're going, oh yeah, and
they light up.
So really a valuable, interesting thing to do. So if any of you that ever watch this get a chance to do that, and I admit it takes a group
Right.
to do that with, but if you get the chance to do it, because it's way cool.
Oh, it's a really nice experience for
We've
everybody.
never heard of anybody not having a really
Yeah.
cool experience doing it. And you've done it well is when they're all showing it to each other.
Yeah. You're just sitting around watching this happen.
Phil and I describe it as sitting in the corner drinking coffee.
Yeah.
You're out of
You
there.
can almost just pack your stuff up and leave.
Right. And
Almost.
that's the way it ought to be, folks. That's
Yeah.
the way it is, because now they've taken it.
They've got the tool.
So that's a cool thing to do. Now later on, you could say, hey, you know what else you can do with this? And they're like, what? You can make a hero's quest out of it, a hero's journey.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Boom. 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 Now you're full. Now we got Hero's Quest going on.
Right. And so, it's just another way. But when you go to the hero's quest or the hero's journey, it is a new wrinkle that you're thinking about yourself as a hero.
Yeah.
And a hero on a quest. Well, now then comes, well, what's my quest?
Aha.
And
Good question.
in act proper, that's values.
Yeah.
That's when they say that. What's my quest? Well, act proper handles that by values.
Yeah.
Phil and I don't use values because
Eh,
the clientele we worked with, it didn't work out too well. But they get, where am I headed?
yeah. What's my purpose?
My purpose, where do I want to go?
Yep.
I'm a hero. I want to achieve something. Well, what
Yep.
do you want to achieve? And that's all taking care of the same thing, whether you use the word values or not. You say, well, why is that important? Because now cognitively you're thinking, well, here's me now. And then I can see where I want me to be
Off in the distance.
in the distance. And now using that, I can notice what behaviors work to get me to
Yep.
that place off in the distance and what behaviors don't work. Bingo, act.
Period.
That fast. So act is in a way about the hero's journey. So that's why, and it's powerful. And probably why some research somewhere showed it's valuable for people to view their life as a hero's journey, because now instead of saying, well, I'm going to do acceptance and commitment therapy with you, blah, 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 blah. A lot of people don't want to do that. But hey, would you like to take a look at your life as a hero's quest? Yeah,
I can do that. Yeah,
that's
sure.
really interesting. Why not? But now you do this way and you do an act. Ta-da! And you never even have to bring it up. Now, in therapy, you would informed consent. You would need to say it was act and all that. Not out on the streets.
Yep. Oh,
Not in some classroom, community classroom or something. You're not doing therapy. You're just showing people how to view their life as a hero's quest. You can do that with anybody. So,
right.
of course, and do that. It's a lot of fun, but interesting way to do it. And I don't know. The reason we did this is because I heard about it 2 or 3 times, and
It's been coming up. It's been coming up a lot. Yeah.
it's been coming up a lot.
Yeah.
People thinking of it, and of course, to make, I don't know if it's a political comment or what it is, Bill, but it's like, and this is the article that we were reading about the cult thing.
Right.
Doing. And the director said, well, what I did is not about the cult. It's about the failure of the American dream.
The disillusionment.
Disillusionment with the American dream.
Yeah.
Well, stop. What's the American dream? It's the hero's quest.
Yep.
And so as people that were born into this American dream, that's that you're going to grow up
and fulfill.
Usually it comes in, you're going to either get a really good job or you're going to make your own job.
Yeah.
Like a business.
Some type of material success will.
You're going to be successful.
Right.
And living on your own. Really.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the American dream.
Yep.
At least that. Well, guess what? There's all kinds of people that's just out of reach.
Yeah.
And we're talking college educated people.
Yes.
That is now out of reach. Well, that's what the disillusionment. And so people get desperate when they don't have that. They see no way of fulfilling that quest. Their hero's quest has been dashed.
Yeah. They don't see how they can get from here to there.
That flag in the distance, that tree in the distance.
Yeah.
Is just unattainable.
Keeps feeling like it's moving further away.
Yeah. Somebody, and not only that, somebody keeps tilting the freaking.
Yeah, exactly. Right. The hill's getting steeper, man.
It's getting further away, and the hill's getting steeper.
Right, yeah.
Okay. And that's the disillusionment. Well,
Right.
That has to do, the simple math on that is our jobs really, our salaries, our pay hasn't kept up with the housing, cost of housing.
Right.
There's other things, but I'll just put it like that. Okay. So what's that mean? Well, I can't make enough money to pay rent.
Just support myself and keep moving on my quest.
Right. And that sort of dashes your quest.
Right.
Really bad. So why am I talking about that? That makes people very vulnerable to cults and or demagogues, what's known as demagogues.
Yeah.
Go along and say, I have the answer.
Yeah.
Really, a cult leader and a demagogue is the same thing. Really.
Yeah.
They just show up and tell people, I have the answer. They say, well, don't they have to sell them on it? Not if you got a whole lot of millions of people desperate for somebody to say
Right.
that. They'll grab hold of them and go. So even on a societal level, looking at each of us as we're on a hero's quest. And come on, Phil and I had it easy. You could get a relatively low level job and pay your rent.
Yeah.
Back when I was
Right. Pay your rent.
right. You can't do that now.
No.
No way. You gotta have a really, really good paid job.
Oh yeah.
To
We're not
be-
even talking about buying a house. Just talk about a living place for
Oh,
yourself.
that's right. Well, we could do that. Bill and I grew up in a time when you could do that.
Yeah.
You know, 40 or 50 years ago that we were up to that. And now it's been taken off the table. Well, that's mucking with the hero's quest.
Big time.
And that disillusionment with that American dream fuels a lot of the problems that we see. It's that simple, folks. But
Yep.
you say, well, it's too simple. It's really not.
No.
It's really not. That's the problem. So you can also be, well, how then it becomes, well, how can we set up a society so people can achieve that quest? Okay. And I'm not talking socialism and stuff here because
No.
you don't get to be a hero in those systems.
No. Yeah.
That is communism and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that is boring when it comes to individuals achieving stuff. It's just not. And I was born in America with the American dream and all that.
Yes.
So think about it, folks, and think about anything that we can do toward setting up the playing field so that our young people can achieve their heroes quest.
Yeah. So they have access to the hero's quest.
It doesn't say guaranteed a success. But right now, I even look at it. I'm pretty good with numbers.
Yeah.
These numbers don't work.
No.
They-
It's not working to get them in the game of moving where they want to toward a life that they want to be living for themselves.
No, it is not. So they end up they're living at home, and that's, or they're living with 4 or 5 or 6 roommates.
Yes.
They get a 2-bedroom apartment and put bunk beds in the 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Literally, this goes on,
Yeah.
folks.
Yeah.
Well, you don't really feel like you're making it. Or you're at home in your parents' basement or whatever. Well, you don't feel like you're making it there either.
Nope.
So your hero's quest has been mucked up by no fault of your own.
No. That's what we call external obstacles to the
That's
hero.
external obstacles that have gotten in.
They're real,
We're not talking about kids
made up, real stuff.
out of school or whatever. No. They did the game right, but now the game is set up so they can't achieve the hero's quest. So just a little something to think about as we
Yep.
go on. The kind of thing Phil and I talk about, think about. ACT is a very philosophy-heavy way of looking at things. So,
Yep.
And you say, well, what does he mean by that? I mean that Steve Hayes and Kelly Wilson and Kirk Strassel, they sort of started with the philosophy first, and then they built ACT. Okay, so it's literally built on philosophical foundations. CBT, that was pure pragmatics, I figure if we think positive thoughts to each, and do the thought popping and all that, it was very mechanistic. Let me put it that way, mechanistic. So this is not that. But there you go. But, and if you'll notice, and it's something that was talked about in the documentary stuff, there's a lot of documentaries about cults now. Well, they're not a new thing, but boy, they're getting more popular.
Yes. Much more attractive these days.
Because of people being disillusioned,
Getting sidetracked.
getting sidetracked, and they want somebody to give them the answer.
Yeah. Yeah. They're seekers.
They're seekers. They're seeking answers. And there's predators out there looking to say, yeah, I have the answer.
Yeah. They're seekers, and they start out on a hero's quest like all of us, but then, due to those external obstacles, they get channeled down into these other situations where there are people that are more than willing to offer them, well, what we would like to call the quick fix to your disillusionment.
Yeah. And now, well, okay, there shouldn't be. There's a few of them that genuinely believe they have the answer.
Oh yeah, heart of heart. I think
they-
they have good intentions. Right. Yep.
They really think they do. I want to tell you right now, though, there's more of them that know full well they don't have the answer. They just want your money,
Right.
or your sex. So that's the biggies of it. So we need to fix that. I don't have a fix for it. I don't know how to bring wages up or bring the cost of housing down.
Right.
But that simple formula is a sticky wicket.
Very much so.
And I think it's worldwide though, at least Western world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure of that, but I know it's the fact in like essentially all 50 states.
Yeah.
And it's certainly the fact. I live in Maine, and it's big time.
It's definitely the case in Pennsylvania, for sure.
Yeah, it's big time.
Others I know in other states, yeah,
So
everywhere.
it's not affordable. So anyway, there we go. We don't mean to be that, but we're on a hero's quest. So if we're thwarting our young people's hero's quest, there's going to be trouble.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get them going. Somehow, some way. I wish I had the answers. I don't have the.
Oh, wouldn't that be lovely?
I could say that I have the answer.
Well,
I could just say, nah, that wouldn't be honest. I don't have the. I'm not going to do that. I do encourage everybody to show each other the Matrix and look at it as a hero's quest. Look at your life
and share it with other people too.
with other people. See if we can figure this out. It'll take a bunch of us to figure it out. So,
Yeah, this is the quest. We're on a quest.
together.
Yeah.
Cool. Now let's see. We'll sign off.
Yeah.
It's Friday, so then we'll just take it easy. And we will be back next Friday. Right now we just do them once a week, which seems to be working for us. We do encourage you to punch the button there.
And about the green button below.
It's way cool to get accredited.
Check it out.
Accredited. What is it called? I was thinking APA CEUs.
That's it. APA CEs, continuing education.
To get those and the Matrix certification. That's it.
Yeah.
It's fun. We put your name up in lights on a website. And right now with that price down below, it's affordable.
Oh, is it ever?
For most people who we talk to or who are really have gone past the Rubicon.
Yeah, they're on there. They're a little further down on the quest.
Yeah, they're further down. They have figured out how to have jobs and pay rent.
Right.
So,
Now they can look around and say, what else do I want to add?
what else? And of course, the part in there's a couple of states where our stuff, our Matrix certification counts for something.
Is accepted. Yeah, wasn't it? What is it? Illinois? I think.
Illinois is, I think.
Come
We
on.
didn't ask for that. They just started it.
Yeah.
So, great.
It's great. We'll take it.
Take it. Other than that, it's just a cool thing to have. And we love having you. We love talking to you.
Yes.
So
And show it. And thanks for showing up.
thanks for showing up and everybody who shows up to see the recording. And we will be back next week.
Next Friday.
Bye-bye now.
Take care.